And a happy Sunday to everybody. I'm so excited. I hope that your Gen Con was delightful. I hope that you met a whole bunch of fabulous people. I hope that you got to go do a whole bunch of fabulous things. I am sad that I was not able to be there myself, but we did have some representation there with our Canadian Pro crew, so that makes me very happy. I'm very excited there. But now we are back for our regularly scheduled programming here at Wonders of the World. Huzzah! I am here with the fabulous Connor, also known as the Healer Dio. Welcome.
Hey Kyle, thanks for having me yet again. Hi everybody at home. Hope you're drinking plenty of liquids. Hope you're staying active and doing the things you need to do to take care of yourself, even if it's a little dreary where you're at.
It's important. It's super important. Oh my God, that's right, Flizzard. It's time for Brownie Bridge. It is time for Halfling Pirate Shenanigans. Yay! A bunch of so before we get into it though, I definitely want to shout out our fabulous sponsors. One, Hero Forge. We adore you, Hero Forge, for helping us make character art so much simpler. You are absolutely fantastic. I've got so many Hero Forge characters now in my lineup. I feel like I need to just start going back through and once a week display one of the characters that I've created in Hero Forge on the internet, because it's super fun. I love it. It's actually, for me, a great way to just relax. I'll go pick a character and be like, what if Corton was just having tea? What does that look like? How do I pull together these goddesses? Let's do that. Super delightful. Makes me very happy. So thank you, Hero Forge, for being glorious. In addition to that, thank you to D&D Beyond and to Phoenix Dice. We love you very much. You help us keep rolling along all the things that we're doing. And Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. If you love a fabulous mobile game that is D&D themed, you can play Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you can see a fabulous code there that you can use to get an Electrum chest in-game, which is glorious because it will help you power up your players. Huzzah! You can give them new hats and stabs and fabulous things that make them look cool and delightful while you rip apart the enemies of the Forgotten Realms. So use that code, head over to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and get you an Electrum chest. In addition to that, I want to say thank you to Souls Rolls, Realm Warp Media, and Gemmed Firefly, who are all amazing members of our community and do fabulous things. Gemmed Firefly is the official spot for merch for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming, and hopefully soon will also be the spot for merch for the Planar Allies. So let's say hi to them, and now I think it's time to do some delightful world building, don't you, Connor?
I think that would be awesome, Kyle. That's what I came for.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, I'm really excited to do just a nice chill stream because everything is just crazy right now. All the things are crazy, and all of my campaigns are just ridiculously epic shenanigans. Well,
how about this, Kyle? What is something that happened in one of your campaigns that was epic shenanigan?
One of my players who has attached themselves to one of the rulers of the Dream Realm accidentally called a dream demiplane into existence on the prime material plane that was a dream where you are constantly falling, but also there are just hundreds and thousands of teeth, loose teeth, just falling around you. So that exists now in our Underdark, in the Patchwork Planet. that little
Oh,
section of that dream.
oh my goodness, that is awful. Like, how could you
Mhm.
take that dream and make it worse? You're always falling. Also, teeth.
There's teeth.
That's one of the weird things when you talk about dreams and teeth that always bugged. I mean, I think it was meant to. The Corinthian,
Yeah,
uh, who had, both of his eyes are replaced with mouths.
yeah.
You know,
And it
shit.
is just, oh, it's, oh my God. Speaking of the Corinthian, did you see the Sandman?
I have seen much of it, not all of it yet. I've
Oh my
been
God. So I won't do any spoilers, but I have got to say, if you are a fan of the comics, they actually did justice to the fucking comics.
They did. They very much did.
It was
oh,
amazing. Oh my God. And the casting is so perfect. Oh my God, so glorious. The one issue that I have seen online, people talking about, is despair. They're like, well, this seems very fat phobic, but if you actually read the comics, it is a very toned down version
it
of
is.
despair, who normally appears, she's literally like a 4 foot tall woman with tusks, who's completely naked with like boobs down to her navel. So
Yes.
that's what despair is depicted as in the actual graphic novels.
It is
And
true.
they definitely toned her down for for this.
The thing that really, like, I've seen a lot of folks who have been griping about the diversity in the cast, and Neil Gaiman was interviewed himself, and he's like, I have to ask, did they even read my comics? If they read my comics, did they understand them? And he's going through. He's like, every single one of these great entities has no gender and no race. They are all
Yeah.
genders and all races.
Yeah.
And depending on who they're talking to, they will appear to be different people.
Yeah.
And
Which I thought that they did really beautifully with the. This isn't like too spoilery. With the trip to hell, where he sees the one who betrayed him 10,000 years ago, and he appears as someone of their race. While he appears different to all of us, and it's something that, yeah, like the fact that people get up in arms, it's very similar to an argument that I had with somebody online. And mind you, I don't put a lot of stop in arguments that one has on Twitter. But it was a whole thing about how John Waters needed to be canceled because Hairspray had a segregated dance scene. And I'm like, wait, so have you seen Hairspray? Like, that's the point, is that they desegregate. It's the journey of desegregating this space. Like, that's the whole point. How everyone should be equal and everyone's fabulous and all that kind of stuff. But in order to get to that point, you have to show what was wrong first. And then you can show how to fix that, and the journey that the hero goes on to make the world a better place. And they just argued about how it needed to be canceled because it showed this. And I'm like, I'm gonna need you to back the fuck up, because you obviously don't know what art is. You don't know how to tell a story. You don't understand any of it. So I need you to keep your very, very simplistic explanations to yourself. I don't know why you felt like this was the hill you needed to die on, but Hairspray is an amazing musical with a beautiful story and one of the best, finales in the fucking business. So yeah.
I've got
my Hairspray rant.
You're fine. I've been a huge Sandman fan for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, Sandman is the only comic that has a space on my gaming shelf.
Yeah.
I've got lots of comic books, which probably doesn't surprise anybody that follows me on the internet. I am a lifelong fan of Spider-Man. Daredevil is one of my favorite reads. The Sandman, though, so formative.
Absolutely, that's a great word for it. It's such the The world building is astonishing. The stories are gorgeous. And I love the fact that he was not constrained by typical narrative constructs when he created it.
Right.
It was not like, this has to be one story that is told. He's like, this is the king of dreams. This is the king of stories. Like, he's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. And each one, Dream was the hero and the thread, but you got to see 1,000 faces of what this looks like. And for me, that was so important, that there's 1,000 ways to tell these stories. There's 1,000 stories for each person in their life, and they will be wildly different.
Yep.
From one age to the next, you know? Please, Connor, if you could, chit chat a little bit. I need to go grab my charger. I'll be back in 1 sec.
Absolutely. Bye, Kyle. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about Sandman while Kyle's away. One of the things that really got me and inspired a lot of the writing I do now for Dungeons and Dragons is weaving a story narrative that isn't centered on violence, but is centered on personal growth and exploration, and seeing what that looks like outside of the internal monologue, seeing that personal journey for self-expression in the way that somebody interacts with their environment. So, like, if you're a person who is curious in how you can take a comic book and center a comic book on a non-violent narrative, whereas most comic books are centered on a violent narrative.
Yeah.
Seeing what one looks like when it's non-violent you won't find a book better at that than Sandman. And Neil Gaiman is absolutely delightful. In the interview that that I was referencing back to, he was talking about, did you read my comics? Did you understand my comics? And he came back and he said, I can't help but believe that a lot of the people that are upset with my book aren't really, they don't really know the book or anything. Or maybe they did read the book and maybe they enjoyed the book, but right now they're focused on a political narrative. And they're more interested in yelling about their political narrative than they are having a frank discussion of the stories.
Yeah, I feel like it's a huge part of it is just the fact that people don't actually read anymore. Like, it's now, you know, they'll read a headline and then they'll jump on that bandwagon without ever having even like glanced at the book. Yeah. You know, that's the vast majority, I'm sure, is that sort of thing. Yeah. But we are definitely digressing. I mean, I could talk about Neil Gaiman all fucking day.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But I want to look at some things in chat. Glass flippers, yes. Pirates and Halflings. So today's world building session. After we finish gushing about Neil Gaiman, we are designing an island called Briny Bridge. It is the island where the halflings live in this world. And because the halflings were sort of, they felt like they were rejected from most mainstream society. And so they created their own and became pirates. They became privateers, essentially. So it's a whole island of halfling pirates that has a portal to the Feywild, so it's halfling pirates and a bunch of Fey creatures in half-size ships that are sized for halflings. There's still these big, tall ships, but if you were a human getting on one of these boats, it would be very small for you. So it's super fun and delightful. And Cotton Candy, yes, welcome back. There's Lando is starting their own Twitch stream because Lando loves playing video games, especially Genshin. So he's going to be starting a Genshin streaming channel, which is going to be absolutely glorious. Very excited about that. Um, and and we did shift a bunch of the casts around because school year is coming up. So all kinds of fun stuff there. And we are experimenting with some new things, like on the Tuesday game with live cutscenes where you can see like the villains planning and the heroes trying to figure out what the hell's going on, which is super delightful. I love it. There's and I'm so sorry to hear about the death of the family, hon. That is, oh, that's rough. I hope that you are taking care of yourself and you're giving yourself plenty of time to grieve and to do all of the things. There is so definitely like make sure that you are doing the self-care necessary to move through the grieving process. It will be difficult, but you have support. There's I think it should be time to discuss now what this island looks like. I think let's talk geography. So we have a couple of things already canon in the world. So I'm gonna do geography over here. You know what? Let me create the right kind of outline form. There we go. Now we've got geography. All right, so there are essentially four main things that we've already got established. So there is Buttress, which is the capital city. Nope, it's an A. We had that discussion, I remember, in one of our previous streams. And Buttress is the capital city. There is the Aqua. I think, how did I spell it? Aquafina's aquaculture. There is under the docks of the Buttress, there is an ancient sea serpent named Aquafina, who the character
is hilariously funny.
What?
Is she a hilariously funny lesbian?
There's she's pretty delightful, but
okay.
we do not yet know what kind of relationships she's having, but certainly in the lifespan of someone who is thousands of years old, my guess is probably you're going to learn real quick that gender is pretty much a construct and people are people. But she in one of our adventures, she attacked one of the ships that we were on, and the characters defeated her and then befriended her, and she started growing because she loves pearls. She started growing oysters underneath the docks, and because she's a magical creature, they grow much faster than they normally would. So there is now like everything under the docks is just this giant sort of oyster farm that's sort of popping up pearls on a regular basis, because that's what she sleeps on, is a giant mound of pearls. So that's super fun. And it's also fun fact because oysters are filter feeders. It is some of the cleanest water on the planet because of all these oysters. So the water around there is super fresh and fabulous.
And sleeping on a bed of pearls, honestly, is such a girl boss move.
Yeah, absolutely. She just sort of like give out a handful when she wants to people. It's like, here you go. Delivery. Oh, it's Postmates. Here's a handful of pearls for you. Like this. So I'm here for Aquafina. being a fabulous, delightful lady dragon. Um, then we have there is a lake um, in the center of the island, which is where we haven't named the lake yet. But the lake, things that have happened at the lake. The first thing was that a small group of illithids set up shop there briefly, and were attempting to, because they didn't have the numbers yet to actually create a full colony, they had started, essentially they created a drug that was crushed up quartz and a couple other things. And for people, it wouldn't do anything. Like it was just powder. But because of its piezoelectric properties, creatures from the Feywild would get high on it. But it was also very addictive. And what would happen is they would start becoming petrified from the inside out. And they would turn into crystal statues of themselves eventually. And the addiction was what allowed the illithid to control people and essentially create like a drug den and create these and do the things they need to while they were trying to build up their numbers. And the heroes thankfully went in, destroyed the whole operation, got rid of the dealers, but that happened by the lake. And then the other thing at the lake is the portal to the Feywild, which opens at sunset and stays open for about half an hour each night. That is on one side of the lake. So it's an entrance to the Feywild. So the waters of the Feywild will sometimes mix with the waters here in the lake. So there are like fake creatures living in the lake, and you can get back and forth. So what's a good name for that lake at the center with the Feywild portal?
Moon Lake. Something tied into the Fey. Moons get the constant changing faces of the moon often ties in.
Ooh, I like that. What would that be? We could totally create. I think it's too big to be a. Ooh, let's call it Moonglass Lake. Because on still nights, it looks like the moon is painted on glass in its surface. And that sounds appropriately Fey, you know.
Sounds beautiful.
All right, so we've got Moonglass Lake, and we have got the portal to the Feywild. All right, so not Protol, portal to the Feywild. Yes, absolutely. Though I do like Waning Lake too. That has those nice A's in there. You say it. It is fun. Yeah, Aquafina definitely is fantastic. And so some of the characters that we know from there. Oh, the other thing that happened in the lake was it was the site of Shark Week. So one of the players mentioned something happened and somebody said something that was just a funny little thing that just, oh, that's like Shark Week. We have Shark Week now. So I decided, of course, I have to make Shark Week for this place. And what it ended up being is there are 6 hags from the Feywild. And they travel around the Feywild. And what they'll do is they will set up a ceremony where an entire town will get covered with this magical field. And anyone who is within the magical field, every day there is a small percentage chance that they will turn into a shark. And these sharks are very colorful and representative of the people that they used to be. And anytime somebody turns into a shark, there'll be like a popping sound, and then everyone around them will lift them up and just scream, "Shark!" and just take them to the closest water and throw them in. And you're a shark for about a week, which is why it's a Shark Week. And then you turn back into a person. But during Shark Week, there's also festivals and games and all this kind of stuff. And what the adventurers did not realize is that the games that they were playing were actually part of a ritual to summon Leviathan, who is the eldest water elemental. And the point of this is that this is once a year, Tempest gets summoned for like a day, and gets to play. And this is how Tempest plays: is he will turn into like a typhoon and will pick up all the sharks and just carry them around in the ocean and spray them out at people and things like that. And it becomes this fun sort of game of dodge shark.
Very fun game.
Like just fly at you. Whereas, you know, in the Feywild, it's fine because they don't really die in the Feywild. They come back. You know, if you get murdered, you'll be back in like a week, no problem. And so for them, it's a fun little game. We did in fact create a Sharknado. It is true, 100% cotton candy. But they realized in the real world, this is a little more damaging to people. So they had to stop Leviathan and all that kind of stuff. But this is the lake where Leviathan was created. So that is super fun. I enjoy that. So that's sort of what we've established about. There's one other person that we need to know of, or two other people, and one other place. One is there is the queen of the pirates is Dapple Dreary Sauce. She is a super confident, delightful halfling who like essentially runs the pirates. It's not like an official leadership position, but she is the one that nobody messes with, and everybody does what Dapple says, because Dapple's ship is the largest in the fleet and is in fact a giant mimic. So the entire ship is a mimic that can change its form as necessary, but it likes being a giant tall ship and getting to float around in the ocean. So absolutely. Yes, Baba Yaga, the pirate queens are here. And they're some of my favorite queens too.
I mean, there are other queens that are also quite nice, but
oh yes, the pirate queens definitely take the case. There is if you catch the eated shark in Shark Dodgeball, you get to throw it back. You do, if you do not have your face eaten first. That is absolutely a thing. Yes, absolutely. So those are sort of some of the things that we are dealing with here, and I'd like to flesh out this world. So I'm going to add important people. We're going to add Dapple Dreary Sauce, Queen of the Pirates. I'm going to add 6 hags. They run Shark Week. And Dapple Dance, which is the name of the giant mimic tall ship. So we've got those, and there's one other place we've established with one of the new characters joining the campaign, that on all of the pirate ships, there are in fact little tournaments that they will do. There's a little, in the cargo hold, there's always a little fighting ring, and that's a way to sort of like, you know, on a long journey to vent stress and things like that, they'll have different sort of competitions of like strength and wits and all that kind of stuff. There is a large arena in the buttress that is a permanent establishment, and once a year they will bring the best fighters from each ship to battle it out in the arena, and so we need to make sure that that's there in the buttress. But other than that, we've got free reign. So first, I want to know from chat, what would you like to see on a fabulous halfling pirate island, where with the largest fleet of ships on the planet, doing all kinds of awesome things? What do you think? What do you think should be going on over there? And now, Connor, I'd like your thoughts. What are your thoughts on all of this? All these fucking shenanigans on this island.
That's a lot of shenanigans. A lot of shenanigans. I think I'm curious if we're talking about the place. What do the halflings that reside on this halfling pirate island do to support the pirates that are going out pirating?
So they've got like, you know, a very, well, I see it as a very vibrant economy that is built around the things that pirates are going to want on shore leave. So you definitely have your basics that are like armorers, weaponsmiths, things like that. But I think there's going to be sort of an inordinate amount of not necessarily like flea markets, but more like antiquities shops and little like pawn shop type places that are all there to like help sell off all of the stuff that these pirates are pulling from. And I feel like we need to, all right, so Buttress, I'm going to do something over here. I'm going to add economy, and in the Buttress, let's see, some of the most intelligent and experienced antiquities dealers reside here. There is a booming business in identifying and reselling magical items and artifacts from before the calamity. And Lando, could you do me a favor? Can you share the link that I sent you? I forgot to send it to Connor because I am a douche canoe.
Oh no, you're fine.
Percent. I am the worst person. All right, let's look at some of these. I really like that because I love having the ideas of people that it's not just because you live in some place that looks downtrodden doesn't mean that everyone you meet is going to be an asshole or everyone you meet is going to be, you know, like poor and dirty. Like, nope, they've got plenty of money because they take it from everyone else. Like they've got smuggling operations all over the planet, you know, like they're good. Like the people here are making their money. And like that you've got people who need to be very well educated in the history of this planet, in the history of the cosmos. They need to have an understanding of the planes of existence, all that kind of stuff, so that they can let you know what this thing is, how much it's worth. And then, now mind you, I feel like probably they'd be fleecing people on a regular basis.
Oh yeah.
You know? like, oh no, this ring is just, oh, this is glass. Like this isn't even worth anything. And it's like a ring of protection +3 that's worth, you know, 3,000 gold pieces or something. Like it's absolutely. All right, I would like, so let's look at some of these fabulous cover. All right, so Conga rats. I feel like absolutely. So we have mouse folk, and the mouse folk on this planet are in fact the mafia. Like they are the ones that control all the information and will help you disappear someone if someone needs to be disappeared. So I feel like absolutely there would be, we need to absolutely like create a mouse folk. I want to call, oh, you know what it's gonna be? I feel like a mouse folk like can dance parlor, like just like can and burlesque. Like this is where you go for like your truly artistic, you know, like people who are less clothed situations. But they do gorgeous shows. They do. But this is also where a lot of like deals are brokered because the mouse folk know where everything is and where everything's going. There's let's see, the the inner circle of the mouse folk are known as the mothers. They're the ones that run everything. So I think we're going to create the mother's milk burlesque parlor. Is now one of the taverns. We now have this beautiful and elegantly appointed dance hall is the place to see truly wondrous dance and performance pieces as you make a deal to sell off that artifact that you just happen to have found lying around. Run by the Mousefolk Mafia. This place is always safe from prying eyes and ears due to the rich payments made to various pirate factions to ensure it can do business without trouble. All right, good. I'm glad we got that. I'm glad that we now have Conga rats.
Conga rats are in there. It's official.
That's important. Fabulous. A flag maker.
A flag maker.
Absolutely. Yes, we do need a flag maker. I feel like.
But the flag making shop has to be a place where they teach you how to make flags.
Yes, and you can tell how long someone has been pirating based on how good their flag looks. Like it's all like wonky, you know, they're just starting out. You can sort of get a sense based on the flag of how experienced they are. Absolutely. Let me see. There needs to be a flag maker's shop. Learn to make your own flags from textiles and fabrics that you found. Absolutely, that's important. So let me see. A casino. Huh. I feel like that might be like that. I feel like the casino could totally be like the gambling halls would be a temple to God. Who is the goddess of luck? Is it Timora?
Timora is the goddess of luck. Yes.
Yeah. So you could absolutely be a situation where like the arena and the gambling hall are actually dedicated to Timora. That this is one of the reasons that the arena is so delightful to watch is because people will have either astonishingly good luck or astonishingly bad luck, and it's always just fun to watch. what's going on, all the shenanigans because of that. I feel like we can absolutely pull that together. Um, there is for the arena. Taverns and brothels, absolutely. 100%. We've got one tavern already. I feel like, you know what? I want to model the brothels after the brothels of the Old West, actually. The reason
Okay.
being, are you aware of of how they were run?
Well, hit me with it, Kyle, because I'm not sure I am, and I don't know if our listeners are either.
Well, fun fact, like essentially all of the brothels in the Wild West were run by women, and those women became some of the most powerful people in the Old West because they had more money than anyone else. And because of that, they're like the reason that we have Old West towns is very specifically because the madams of these brothels would pay to like build a church, and they would then pay to build a school or a general store, and they were the ones that actually built the towns that were the centers of commerce that people would then build their ranches and farms around. And this was because they could, and because having more people in a town meant more business, which meant more money, and they were very good at the books. So I'm totally down with having like all of the accountants be like, you can go to the brothel and you can either have a good time or you can get your taxes done. Like there's, I mean, oh shit, we need to create offshore accounts that are literally like small islands with like monsters guarding like the storehouses.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my
I want
goodness.
that so bad. Oh my god. Okay, we've got to do that now. Now we're making that. Okay. So we've got geography. We've got Buttress the capital. I'm going to put in here offshore things. It's going to be part of that. We will get to that in a little bit. Yes, I love it so much. Okay, so, but yeah, I think that it should be that like the people that take care of your money are the sex workers in the brothels. Like they're the ones that like you. Oh my god, I feel like I just came up with a whole like economy of scale for this, where it's like you go to the sex worker to have certain needs fulfilled, but you choose them based on the return that they get you on your money. So you just like you take your whole haul to them, and they'll take like 10% of whatever you bring them, and that's how they make their money. And then you have a fabulous time. And then the next time you see them, the first thing you do is you look through the books and you make sure that everything's all set, and letting them know, well, it definitely cost us some. We did some investing for you. There is a new, I would love it if it's like you go to your sex worker and then they'll be like, so here are the keys to your new boat. It's over here. We had that built because we know that yours is a little rickety now. So we do have a buyer for your old boat, and now you'll have your new one, and it'll be great. And here's all the provisions and like all that kind of stuff. That's really what they do. And then they also have sex. And I'm like, because you can do both. Because I'm like, being a sex worker is an independent contracting position, you know, where you do, like, as somebody that was a performer and a former sex worker, there is, you know, so there's things where you have to know how to do your taxes. Like, you really, like, you have to know how to, like, how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to market yourself. You need to know how to do your taxes, like all that kind of stuff. It's 100%.
You need to know.
So I'm here for it. So we've got, so let's see. So let's see, we've got brothels. We can figure that out, what the names of all of them are later on. But here on Briny Bridge, the brothels are home not only to the sex sex work industry, but also to the accountants on the island. Most are retired pirates who have purchased stakes in offshore banks, allowing them to keep their money safe. The most expensive sex workers are the ones who can get you the best returns on your investments. And so this just turns on your investments. Rulers from countries far and wide have been known to come to the island a few times each year to see their accountants. And what better way to ensure everyone is dealing above deck with each other
Than
than
dealing below decks.
and to
Sorry.
than to have fun below decks.
Oh.
It's very difficult to hide a cutlass when you're naked.
Can confirm.
Connor has done apparently a lot of pirate theme parties. Absolutely. I'm here
more
for it.
More research than
I love that. Okay, so we've got our accountant sex workers. That's delightful. There's let's see, a temple with a hostel. Wait, so all right, so we've got provisions, so we definitely need general stores. I feel all right, so general stores, what's the feeling of the general stores here? Do you think? Also, I feel like I'm getting totally backed up in the comments. Let me go through this first. So we've got all right, so we've got Captain Jack Sparrow's Antiquities and Curios. Absolutely, we're going to have some of those. Fabulous. A temple with a hostel. I feel like there absolutely would be a hostel attached to Timor's temple for people who have suddenly their luck has turned in the casino. They can still afford a place to go lay their head. I think that's absolutely a thing. An orphanage. I'm wondering. I'm going to come back to that because I know that's going to need to sit in my brain. Let's see. Halflings have a tradition of being farmers, yes, but a community of halfling pirates be supported by aquaculture. I think so. I think that there is that they will definitely. There'll be a lot of sushi and seaweed in their diet. I think because that would be a very sustainable resource for them. They could have entire kelp forests. I think that, ooh, that's fun. Let's get into the actual geography around it. So there is, let's see, geography. I'm going to shift a couple things here. I'm going to say cities. This one is buttress. Let me see. Points of interest would be Aquafina's aquaculture, Moonglass Lake, portal to the Feywild offshore banks, and then actually Moonglass Lake I'm going to put somewhere else in this aquaculture, and then there will be what would that be called? Biomes. So Moon Glass Lake. And what would an underwater forest be called? Like a kelp forest. What is that?
Kelp forest. I don't know.
That is fabulous. All right, let's see.
That's why. That's why we.
That's why we have chat.
That's why we have Google.
That's what. Hey, chat. That's what you're for. Helping us come up with things.
Fun story.
Yeah.
The name for like a forest of kelp is called a kelp forest. That is the actual name. Yeah.
What is?
The scientific name is Macrocystis perifera.
I think
so, kelp forest works great.
The hidden, I want to say, like something having to do with, let's call it the Forest of Tides. Or the tidal forest. Tidal forest. A huge kelp forest off the coast of Briny Bridge, that supplies a huge amount of food for the island. Kelp is harvested, as well as fish and shellfish. All right, fabulous. I love that. There is, let's see, so Phantom says they dance with customers and pick their pockets too. So here's the thing about the world. There's already a place where there is, where everybody picks everybody's pockets. That is actually the Fire Genasi area. The Fire Genasi are very good rogues, and one of the ways that has like permeated their society is that there's a game where everybody will be wearing like 4 or 5 money pouches at a time, and people will go around at parties and like just pick everyone's pockets. Like they'll cut their purses, they'll pick the pockets, all that kind of stuff. And at the end, and everybody expects this, and everybody like, it's just like, oh, good one, I didn't see it coming. You're like, you can defend them, but you can't like hurt anybody for taking anything. And there is, and at the end of the night, everybody sort of grabs, like, sees how many, and then you have to put stolen purses on your belt, and everybody sort of sees throughout the night who's doing better at the game based on the number of pouches. And sometimes at the end of the night, people will empty their pouches to see who won, because sometimes the pouch will have like a bunch of gold in it, and sometimes it'll have like 2 copper pieces to sort of distract people. So there is, so we already have that going on. So I don't want to mimic that here, but yes, I love that. This is welcome, Mikazuki. I'm sorry that I'm just seeing this now. I'm trying to scroll down as fast as I can. I'm like, hi, yes, fabulous. There is Sune Islove. We have a lot of interaction actually in our campaigns with the Goddess of Love. There's all kinds of fun stuff that she's done throughout the campaign, which I love. There is, let me see, Mac is here. Hi, Mac! Yay! There is Glass Flippers. You do not mess with the madams. No, that was, they run things. Like they run the world. There's yeah, Mac, super fascinating history with the brothels of the West. Like just incredible. I think it was, so it wasn't Wisconsin. It was actually, it was Wyoming. Was on the fence about giving women the right to vote. And essentially all the ladies who had all of this power already, all the money in the state, were just like, we're like, hey, we'll move somewhere else. We will take our business to a state that will give us voting rights. And so Wyoming was actually the first state where women got the vote. Looking at Wyoming now, it's sort of unrecognizable, but there is, Absolutely, absolutely. Um, there is glass flippers. I love that idea. I'm gonna with the elementals running the offshore islands, but they all already run an entire country called Jersey up in the north. So, but there are, I feel like there are plenty of others that we might get in to do fun things with those offshore islands. Um, there's, ooh, yeah, a whole variety of halflings. Yes, a lot of creatures and people being spawned from, especially like the interaction of the Fae with the halflings. So, like little like halfling fairies and halfling hags and all kinds of fun stuff. Absolutely. Oh, you know what? I like the submerged forest better. I think that's delightful. Thank you. I'm gonna steal your idea.
Uh-oh.
I did it. I did it. I robbed you. Robbed you. Oh, let me see. Quit being shellfish. I will not. I simply won't do it. There is. Oh, I love that in my homebrew Timora's avatar is a halfling with blonde curls and overalls. That is the cutest fucking thing I've ever heard. Oh my god, I love that. Oh wow. Yeah, I can totally see her. Like in the big box, like the Emperor's box at the arena, and she's just hanging out in her overalls. Like, how you doing?
You know, dress comfy if you're a goddess.
Right. Absolutely. You need to. There's Mac, absolutely I want to hear about. I mean, I know a little about Marie Laveau because I lived in New Orleans for a bit, but I did not dig into her history, and I know that you love historical delightfulness, so absolutely we will have a whole conversation about that. Ooh, Aquafina's halfling children. Ooh, I love that. That's fabulous. Oh my god. It could they could be the guards for the hordes on the islands. It could be a bunch of half halfling, half sea serpent. Like, I think that would be friggin' delightful. Absolutely. All right, I think we're gonna make this canon now. Aquafina's aquaculture. The offshore banks. These incredibly secure buildings are made not only on small islands, but hidden within the submerged forest, and even built into large coral reefs. Many have entrances below the surface, so that only those who can breathe water may enter. This has given rise to several of Aquafina's offspring being employed as the bank managers. Half halfling and half sea serpent. They ensure no one's security is breached. typically these banks are also heavily trapped and disguised to help ward off invaders bent on acquiring their wealth. Fabulous. All right, I'm super excited about these offshore banks. Yay. Oh my God. Ooh, that's a good question. Intellectual piracy, theft of spell books, and things like that. I feel like that would be that would be pretty commonplace. People like, especially like younger wizards needing spells, instead of going and researching themselves, they would just go and like find a way to get their hands on like a more established wizard's books. But also I feel like that would be like a sort of underground market for like the assistants and apprentices of wizards to like sort of sell off some of the wizards' lesser, like lower level spells to people, and the wizards would totally be in on it and take a cut of it. Like, absolutely here for it. There's, let's see, so we've got Sea Serpent, Dragonborn. I feel like we need to make that race now.
Tieflings?
Yeah. Tieflings makes me very, very happy about that.
That does sound ridiculously cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh my God. I feel like there would be sort of like different types of them. Like some of them would look more like seahorses, like especially the kind that have like that look like they're seaweed. Like I would love what are the God, it's not seahorse, that's a sea dragon. Sea dragons.
Yes.
Yeah, those are gorgeous.
They are.
There is I don't imagine, Mac, that anybody donates anything on these islands. I'm sure that dying wizards like would have their spell books hotly contested by their various apprentices. Makes me so happy. I love that sea gnome that does not speak gnomish. Absolutely. I feel like as pirates, there definitely needs to be this sense of like everything is a bargain, everything is a trade, everything is something like you have to really like work to get the things that you want. You have to be an incredible negotiator to get it. That people don't give anything for free, and they're pirates, so they have no problem stealing from each other. Totally fine. There can be, I would love if there was like one sort of artifact that didn't actually have any abilities. It wasn't a magical thing. It was just something that was really old and everybody wanted it. And there's like different houses that like once a generation, each house tries to steal this thing, and whoever does, like it's not even like anything official. They're just the cool ones for a couple years after that happens. Oh my God, makes me so happy. All right, so
joyous. When we were talking about like what should we do today, I just knew this was going to like hit in the most joyous way possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how can you not when you got halfling pirates? It's just, I mean, they would sing the best songs. They would just have so much fun on their ships. I feel like that's a thing that we need to figure out is we need to figure out ships. Pirate ships. What do they look like? Let's talk about that. If you're a pirate, you spend a lot of time on the ship, and they're halflings, which means they like bright colors, they like cool things. Oh my God. All right, sails. The brightest thing on a halfling pirate ship is the mainsail. These represent the faction that you are with, though each color is slightly different. Those who are in the know can identify a ship and its crew based on the slight differentiation of colors in the mainsail. This also leads to all-out war occasionally when dyes become scarce and a clan's identity can be erased if they can't maintain the vibrant colors of their sails. I feel like that's a whole thing, like a whole dye economy that's just like, these are some of the most like hoity-toity people on Briny Ridge are the ones that can tell you the difference between, you know, like lilac and lavender. Like the dyes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh wow. Boarding school for all the little pirate kids. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Everything is a pun. Everything is a pun.
You know what? I feel like the quote unquote like daycare is actually a series of like floating floating platforms right above Aquafina's aquaculture, and they're literally, the pirate children are literally guarded by an ancient sea serpent. If she sees anything funky going on, she just pops up her head, making sure everything's okay, and then if it's not, just murders everyone. Like, there's...
As you do.
I love it. Let me see. The national anthem of Briny Bridge is a sea shanty. Of course it is. Absolutely. 100%.
Every song I sing is a sea shanty.
Yeah, it's delightful. Oh my god. We're gonna have to write, if anybody wants to write and record a sea shanty national anthem for a bunch of halflings. Absolutely, 100% I'm here for it. Do we like this? Do we like the boarding school idea of Aquafina being like the sort of headmistress, like in charge of all the kids?
Oh, I
like it.
I think it's fun.
Let me see. There is. So I'm gonna add. Let's see. So, Aquafina, ancient sea serpent that lives under the docks of Buttress. All right, fabulous. I love that. Okay, I feel like this is so much fun.
This is ridiculously fun.
Oh my god. Okay, so we've got, let's see, economy, the Buttress, there is brothels. We're going to do the The casino arena is where the casino and arena are. The large arena attached to the casino once had another name, though that has faded into obscurity as drunken halflings slur the two slur the two buildings together in their speech, coining accidentally renaming the place to Casino Arena. I think that's delightful. I'm very happy with that.
Casino Arena.
Casino Arena. That's where you go to have fun. That's the big spot. That's the happening place. Is the Casino Arena. Oh my gosh. So yes. We will come back. I feel like we need to flesh out the arena some. We need to flesh out the ships a bit, the boarding school a little bit. And we will do all that when we get back. And while we are away, please take care of yourself, hydrate, all of that good stuff.
Absolutely.
And also, I have moved into a new space, and I am currently trying to get enough money together so that I can get a desk and a chair, because currently I am streaming from my kitchen. So if you'd like to help us out with that, you can donate to that link right there. Any little bit helps for us to get a little more, a few more dollars in the bank so that we can actually set up a delightful workspace for me so that I can stream even more and do all of the delightfulness.
It would make a huge difference, absolutely.
Oh yes, absolutely. For me, like just some back support would be delightful. Not being on this stool would make me very happy. But then I can also set it up nicely so that I've got a bookshelf in the background, and I've got my ring lights all set up and all of that. So that would be absolutely glorious. So if you want to help us out with that, we would thank you very, very much for that. And go head out, check out our sponsors, hydrate, touch some grass, look at the sun, look at the blue sky, do all the fun things. And we will see you back here in just a few moments to continue fleshing out our fabulous halfling pirates. Hello again, everybody. I hope you had a lovely little break. I know I did. I ate some watermelon, and no one's gonna tell me that that's not fabulous, because it is. And I'm excited about it. I'm also really excited about something that Connor is releasing in just a little bit. Hey, Connor, what the hell have you created? What sort of monstrosity?
So, a huge shout out to the team that put this together. And what started as a terrible dad joke is going to, it looks like maybe one of the awesomest supplements for your D&D game for the new Spelljammer setting that's supposed to be releasing next week. It is a delightful setting. I'm sitting here like I'm sitting on my box set, flipping through it. It's pretty cool. The supplement is called the Spelljammers Cookbook. It is the perfect way to cook up a great D&D character or a delicious meal to share with your gaming group. Inside of it are 26 subclasses, 2 for each, that really lean heavily into the swashbuckling and weird science feel of the setting. In addition, there are 8 delicious recipes for preserves, all different sorts of jams. So if you want to put more jam into your Spelljammer, this is the way. We've got jams, we've got jellies, we've got chutneys, and each recipe not only is beautifully photographed, but they also give you a serving recommendation. So here's how you make the preserve, and here's how you would serve this preserve with food.
Absolutely.
So
I think that we should do like instead of a Spelljammer, a Spell Chutneyer mini campaign. I think that's
we could just eat our way around the cosmos, right?
Absolutely. We need to go find all the ingredients for a fabulous chutney. Like
yeah, it's a cool product. It's got a bunch of people that are new to writing, but also a bunch of people who you probably know, experienced writers, Emmy award winners. The list is pretty dang impressive of the folks who are on this team. We've got Arthur Guilford from Game to Grow. We have the Gluttonous Geek, Catherine Estes. We have Gwen Marshall, the writer for Ancestry and Culture. We have Jessica Markram, an Emmy Award winner, the Angry Nerd Girl. We have Shu Ching Tan. She won an Emmy this year for her organized play adventure. And we have Todd Stashwick, the actor from 12 Monkeys and other popular science fiction shows. He contributed to subclass too. Like it is wild. There are some great character choices. If you want to play somebody with an alien symbiote, this is the correct book for you.
Nice.
This is good stuff, y'all. Please support this diverse team. We really worked hard to pick some really high quality folks, high caliber, who are going to bring a multitude of voices and perspectives to this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat, and all this link is it'll take you to a page to share your email. And when the product drops on the 16th, you will get an email saying, "Hey, here's a link to go buy it." And it'll make that so much easier.
Yay!
So
everybody go click on that link, jump over there, and get ready for some fabulous spell jamming.
Yeah, deliciously fabulous spell jamming.
Yes, indeed. I love it. There's and we actually have another super fun and fabulous thing coming up tomorrow.
Dude.
So for those of you who are fans of the channel, you know Lando, who plays in our campaigns but also does all of our tech stuff. Lando is actually launching his very own Twitch channel tomorrow, where he is going to be gaming. So he loves his TTRPGs, but he also loves video games. So we're gonna have a fabulous channel all for Lando, which is super exciting. I think tomorrow is gonna be Genshin Impact, which is such a fabulous game. So definitely go and chat with him tomorrow. Go see that. And then he's going to be raiding directly into Quest Junkies UK, where you can see me playing as Bob, the fabulous Graviturgy Wizard, in the Rodania Chronicles over on Quest Junkies UK. So that is going to be delightful. So I can't wait to go and do all of the fun stuff. But for now, do we want to go and continue creating this very toned down, very civilized space that is the halfling pirates?
I'm sorry, I couldn't even hold it in.
It's just lies.
It's just
lies.
lies
Is what it is. Oh my God. Yeah, I think it is. It's very important. So So yes, where do you think we should go? What should we be doing here with this? What little bits of this do we want to explore a little further? And thank you, Phantom and Cotton Candy, for following Lando's new page. That's awesome. What would we like to explore in this fabulous space, do you think? What do you want to look at, Connor? What has tickled you?
We need to do seaflings. We need to do seaflings.
Oh, yes, a new race. Hey, Scantwater, welcome, welcome, welcome. I do love the idea of sidekick hiring agency. Yes, let us do. All right, so what do we have so far? So we've got geography, biomes, important people, economy, pirate ships. What would this be? I feel like this would be demographics, maybe. Let's do that. Demographics. There is, let's see, new. Would this be like a Dragonborn sub race? Do you think?
Well, I don't know. Would it be? I feel like it would be Dragonborn, but I also feel like it'd be Halfling.
That's true. Well, all right, so which one is it gonna lean heavier into? Is it gonna lean heavier into like the power or the luck? Like, which direction do we want to go with this? I sort of like the luck side of it because I think that'll be more fun to play with. There are plenty of races that are there for the power.
Yeah, there's plenty of groups for the power already.
All right, so we're gonna say new halfling subrace, seaflings. These halflings are the descendants of a halfling parent and so I guess all of them would have to be a halfling father and Athena. There's while they retain their halfling luck, they also gain the abilities of the shape shifting abilities of their mother. Able to move from an aquatic form to a halfling form. They have been tasked mainly with defending the offshore banks, allowing them to create their very own ports. I feel like that'll be a fun little race that we can create.
There were some great comments too in chat about it. Like somebody said that they might look like the Murlocs from WoW. Those little fish people that are always on the shore that you have to beat a bunch of them up to level up.
Love it.
That's kind of a that's kind of a funny thing.
Yeah, I love this like Water Genasi halfling dragonborn. Absolutely. Like they are very comfortable in the water. 100%. They would obviously get water breathing. But I feel like they I want them to be I want them to each have sort of like a breath weapon that's not actually a weapon. It's more of like a distraction thing. Like they can like you choose between being able to spray like a wall of bubbles at someone to sort of confuse them, or like or if you're really angry it turns into steam or something. There's I think that would be absolutely glorious. And they get their own, like, in each bank, there is the owner's room, the owner's vault, which is their hoard, and I think that'll be absolutely fabulous. So, yes, having a bunch of seaflings wandering around the world, I think will be absolutely delightful. And Aquafina sort of decorates herself with pearls. Which have actually amplified her AC because like she's just encrusted with them at this point. So you have to get through the pearls in order to get to her actual scales.
Right.
And I feel like that would definitely be a thing for seaflings, is that like they have an inexplicable love of pearl jewelry. I think that would be absolutely fabulous. Ooh, I like that. They can give water breathing to like 1d4 creatures. Yeah, no, I think that would be super fun and fabulous.
I think
Like
it would be.
the ability to create like sort of like a bubble helmet from like Harry Potter.
That is really cool.
That would make me very happy. All right, fabulous. So we know what the seaflings are. We know what they do. There's Let's see. So we've got other things that we can continue to flesh out. What's going on in the city? We've got our mouse folk burlesque parlor. We've got the flag maker shops. We've got the brothels. We've got the casino arena. I feel like the casino arena we need to flesh out a little bit more. There's let's see. So let's see the arena part of it. This open arena is one of the main sources for entertainment in the city of the Buttress. What kind of things are we thinking happen in there? I know that, basic sort of fights. You can see gladiatorial battles commonly, but there are also artistic exhibitions, and occasionally the space is turned into a gallery to show off the stolen artworks that have come in that year. Since the halflings love celebrations, there are monthly gatherings, monthly parties at the arena for different causes. One is the champions match. The champion match, in which fighters from each different ship in the fleet compete against each other for glory and gold. Another is the art contest, where the most beautiful item is crowned the winner, and its owner gains both a hotly contested slot in the marketplace, but also the notoriety of being the best art thief on the planet. I like it. Just all kinds of cool things happening. There's, let's see, maybe the arena is what attracts the non-halfling pirates. Like once or twice a year, they're allowed in to compete. Ew, I like that. They can't always come to shop, but it's that time that people not for the halfling pirate corps or whatnot are allowed to submit teams to tournaments. I love that, and they're constantly getting their asses beat by the halflings because they just don't expect it. They don't expect a halfling to be able to kick the crap out of them. I'm sure Timora doesn't have anything to do with it.
Not at all. It has nothing to do with halfling luck.
Ooh, I do love that one of the celebrations is the Aquafina Jubilee. I love it. There is one of the most anticipated events in the arena is the Aquafina Jubilee, to celebrate the day that she arrived on the island. This is marked by sushi rolling contests and a jewelry making event in which everything is made of pearls, and the winner is the one whose item she chooses to add to her hoard. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Let's celebrate Aquafina. She's delightful. That is, yes, absolutely. With the ship sort of like going around the island in a giant parade with just huge, like, colorful streamers, all of that kind of stuff. Oh my God, yeah. So many of her kids are called Pearl. Absolutely. 100% is. That's awesome. Oh, all right. So now, let's see. Absolutely. The catwalk is literally walking the plank. Because you have to go drop into the ocean to show Aquafina the jewelry you made her, and you show it off under the sea, 100%. Oh my God, this place! I want to go visit this place now.
It would be wild.
I mean, we haven't even touched on like the Fae aspect of it yet. Like, there's just, oh my gosh. Yes, we've got a whole society that is built around just the needs of pirates. And absolutely, I'm here for it, 100%. Connor, I want to know what is something that absolutely we need, like here? What is something that a pirate could not live without that we haven't covered yet?
Rum.
Ooh, distilleries. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. That like there's no like they don't farm because all of the arable space is used up as sugarcane plantations to make rum.
That's why they have the aquaculture.
Absolutely, because their priorities are correct. Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna enter that under biomes. So it's going to be the rum distilleries. Almost all arable land on the island is used to grow various types of sugar producing plants. These are used to create the wonderful rum that is stocked in all the most reputable taverns on the island. Though not all of those reputations are good. There we go. All right, we have got, so fabulous. So we now have our rum. We know where the rum's coming from. I want to know if there is, because they've got a whole thing with the Feywild, if there isn't some sort of like magical plant. Like the reason their rum is so good is because it's not like a sugar cane from our world. It's some sort of Fey plant that grows there now that has been brought over by them. I feel like that would be super fun.
When I think of rum drinks, I think of mojitos.
Ooh, yes, yes.
Could it be a magical mint?
Ooh, a sugary mint plant. Absolutely. There is the sugar that is produced is created not from normal sugar cane, but from a Feywild, let me spell that right, Feywild plant that tastes of mint. This requires much more care than typical plants, and there is a huge contingent of Feywild farmers, berries, sprites, brownies, hags, etc., that care for the plantations. That is delightful. Okay, so we got a little Fey action happening. Very excited about it. let me see. So yes, absolutely. We've got Cirque du Soleil as shows. Bards coming for residencies. There is a bard at college in Joaquin Spiral in Merchantry. And I feel like they would absolutely get to spend some time here. There's okay, ropes and sails. Okay, now I know what the rest of the arable land is used for. I'm going to shift this. So this is going to be agricultural areas. So this will be rum distilleries. We'll go there. And then let's see. Then we've got hemp plantations. The hemp production on the island is a major resource for the pirates. It is used to make almost all of the sails and ropes that are utilized on their ships. If anything were to happen to its production, it would seriously impede the ability of the halflings to repair any damaged vessels. Let's just let's put that little adventure hook in there. Somewhere just to be like, have you thought about this? Maybe this. Let's see. So does it give an edible buzz? Ooh. I feel like magical mint absolutely would.
I think if you put it in water, it fizzes.
It absolutely does. Like, there is actually soda on this island because of this. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
It doesn't
like, you need
exist
the fresh
anywhere else.
plants. Like, you have to, like, the bartenders, like, get, like, shipments of the fresh plants at the market, because once it's dried or once it's crushed up or once it's put into something else, once it's converted, it doesn't fizz. But leaves from these plants will actually fizz, so that's what you use to garnish. You just stick a couple leaves in there and suddenly you have an actual soda. You have your mojito soda. I love it. That's a good question about mines and things. I think that might be one of the things that they have to go offshore to get. Like, there aren't a lot of mines on this island, so there's no place for them to get a lot of metal. And because the Feywild is typically, like, iron is anathema to Fey creatures in, like, every culture on the planet. So going out, like, that would be one of the main things that they would need to do, is they would need to go and, like, go raid mines on shores or grab other ships and steal their weapons and their cannons and stuff like that. There's I think something like, because I don't want them to have absolutely everything that they need here. I want them to have, like, stuff that would be useful for their particular economy, but they still need to go there, because otherwise why would you continue being a pirate if you have absolutely everything you need? You just build a whole new culture on this island. Whereas because they don't have everything they need, they still have to go on raids to actually accumulate the stuff. So there is, so we will leave the mines to the mainland, but the hags control they are the sort of overseers for the fabulous mint flavored sugar plantations. So that's where you will find a lot of them, is helping, is sort of keeping, because fairies and sprites and brownies are not known for their work ethic, certainly. So you need someone keeping them in line. And I feel like all like the fairies and sprites not only would be like workers on the plantations, they would also be like the pollinators. So like the fact that they are actually like helping to plant things, they actually carry the pollen from one plant to another. That's the reason that they're such good farmers. I love
amazing.
that. Oh my God. I'm really excited about that. I'm super excited about Spelljammer coming out. Like our campaign at home, it is, or here on Playnard Allies, it was started as not quite a Spelljammer thing, but we brought in a lot of Spelljammer elements, including like the crystal spheres and stuff like that.
Right.
And oh my gosh, it is just, I'm so happy to see it because it's so much fun. Spelljamming is just so delightful, and there's so much that you can do with it. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, what is the Google images? One of the images that came up was the snorks. I remember that from when I was a kid. Oh my God. Is there a Fae equivalent of snorks? I don't think I've seen one, but absolutely. I mean, that could be one of the things that the seaflings sort of look like. Big eyes and like a big snorkel. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's amazing.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. I am so excited. We just did a bunch of the monsters that are coming out with Spelljammer last Wednesday on stream, and just went through them, and we're like, these are terrifying. Like the things that, and what's crazy is what we did is we did it by CR. So we like went up from like CR 1.8 all the way up to like the Nightmare Beast, which is CR 16. And every single one we were like, this is gorgeous, this is amazing. I can't wait to put this into something. This is gonna be so fantastic. And then we get to like the biggest, baddest enemy, and we're so disappointed by it. We're like, wait, what is this? This is like a transformer with a gun. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I'm real sorry, but whoever created that, I'm like, when you have like floating monster balloons that create colored lights and have chicken legs and are just gross to look at and terrifying with what they can do, and that's like a CR 1 or 2 or something. If you're gonna give me something called a Nightmare Beast, you better bring the nightmare on me. Like, just saying, it can decimate an entire squadron. Like, it's soaking a lot of things. We're playing D&D here. It's all epic. Like, oh my God, have you gotten a chance to look at the monsters?
So I did when I play tested it.
Ooh, yes.
But they're just like, hey everybody, what about this? And they had to have somebody whose job was just to be there and say, cool, but it's not outrageous enough yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
hey, that's a really good idea. Make it weirder.
So this is a random ass story. So when I used to teach ballet, I was asked to do a master's thesis for a woman who was getting her master's in modern dance. And okay. I remember each person had to create like a 30-second piece that would be part of the show as a whole, right? And so I created my piece, and the way that we did it was we took medicine cards, which are, like sort of animal tokens. And we spread them out all over the floor, and everybody turned their backs. And she was like, okay, when I say go, turn around and pick your medicine card, whatever it is, just the first one you see, go grab it, and that is going to be the thing that you're going to build your solo around. And so I got dragonfly, which is the symbol of illusion in some cultures. And for me, what that meant is actually creating a ballet solo in a modern dance piece, because for me, ballet has always been the illusion of dance, because it's actually poses. It is, if you study ballet long enough, you come to recognize that, like, you are not aiming to create a new thing. You are aiming to put very specific poses that have very specific reasons for being into a series, and the dance comes in between the poses, which is where, for me, that's why it was the illusion of dance. And what they did is they allowed me to create this fabulous ballet solo. And then they were like, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it crazy. So take this thing that you are doing that is this beautifully constructed ballet pose and make it bigger and wilder and stranger. And that's then going to be the thing. And it developed this gorgeous piece where they set out, I had like a dozen people set out these river stones that were each like about as big as my chest, on the floor. And my solo actually took place as I jumped from one stone to the next, and then would hit the pose that we had chosen for that stone, and then do that over and over and over again as they kept moving the stones, and the dance sort of moved around. So there was, so I'm 100% here for somebody sitting there and being like, nope, go bigger, go better, we're building something new.
Go bigger.
Absolutely. It makes me very happy. Oh my gosh. Yes, I am. So let me see, what is the next thing that we are looking at here? Hey chat, what would you like to see? So we've got, so we can definitely add snorks to the ecology of the submerged forest.
We need to make that happen.
Let me see. So let's see. So we'll say fauna, snorks. Absolutely. There are snorks on this planet. That makes me so happy. That's a very good question. Does the island have politics? I think that the island, based on what we've created so far, I think there wouldn't be a set government on the island, but I think that there would be that your reputation essentially would be your political coin, but there would be all kinds of different reputations you could have. So it would be, so you sort of belong to different, there's subcultures within it that would be like the antiquities culture. Who are you? What do you know? How good are you at identifying things? That would be sort of one culture where they would sort of police each other, about what's going on. And if somebody showed up and started screwing with things, the rest of the people would be like, screw you, we have a reputation to uphold, that we know what's going on. You, who's sitting here trying to lie to people about what something's worth, are damaging our reputation as a whole, and that might have a completely different sort of punishment system than you would have for intrusions into a bank.
Right.
That the brothels would have their own sort of thing. Probably the brothels would and the burlesque would all sort of be working together, to because what are you doing when you're not accounting? You're off learning to dance or to sing or something like that. There's some sort of artistic expression that everyone has because it's a halfling island, would they wear sashes with it? I feel like it wouldn't be sashes. I feel like that would be too sort of demure for them. I want to say, well, let's get into the politics now. Biomes, economy. Oh God, are we already 4 pages in?
We've got a wild amount of content already.
Right. Politics.
And it's because of our amazing viewers. So
Absolutely.
again, thank you for being here today. Because what are we doing here? Like, what are we even creating? Like, welcome to Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm gonna have to start getting like bottles of champagne and just like have mimosas on Sundays and just watch as the ideas get weirder and weirder.
I mean, granted, we wouldn't, because Twitch has rules about such things.
I would never. It would just be sparkling orange juice, obviously.
Obviously,
I would never. I would never.
No, we will never drink, and we will never show our feet.
How dare you? Are you really not allowed to show your feet?
Yes. Yes, this is true.
Oh my God. I must have skipped over that paragraph in the DOS. It was probably so strange that I just was like, I don't understand this. I'm moving on. Like, oh my gosh. All right, so politics. So we're looking at politics. Absolutely. There are various factions create their own rules all over the island. These factions are made up of people who occupy the same spaces in the economy. There is an antiquities faction. There's what would that be called? What would an antiquities faction be called, chat? There's I feel like it would be something like the investigators or something like that. But yeah, the structure of factions in Ravnica, absolutely. I do enjoy that. I want this to be a little looser so that sometimes you don't know which faction you're dealing with. Like, it might be like somebody is in both the Antiquities faction, but also is a patron of the arts. And so like they're also part of like the entertainment faction. And you don't really know like which one you're dealing with, because this person is in both and has reputations in both. With Sith Atropos, I really do like the legacy. Absolutely. That's delightful. Yes. I'm into it. I'm into the Antiquities faction, known as the Legacy. That is not correct. There we go. Which ensures the quality and what is that called when you are identifying something, like its heritage, like where a piece has come
Appraisal?
from? It's not appraisal. It's like the line. It's the chain of custody. It is something's. There's a specific word for it, and it's gonna make me crazy if I don't. I cannot. It's. Oh God. And ensures its quality and authenticity. It ensures the quality and authenticity of the magical items that are brought back to port. There is I want to say the Fey Farmers the, the Fake Farmers Union. Provenance. Thank you. Thank you. The quality and provenance. Provenance of the magical items. Let's see, let me see, what is a good name for a bunch of hag and fae farmers? I want to go. The lawn jockeys. I feel like might be something. There's the flying foodies, maybe. The foodies. I feel like that's what they would call themselves. Just the foodies. Because they're the ones that bring the food in. Like there is the faction of fae creatures who grow the food and plants, all like plants both above and below the waves. They are known as the foodies. There are many other factions that run finances, art, entertainment, and the various forms of protection needed on the island. Absolutely. Each faction has their own loose rules, but nothing is actually codified. And newcomers to the island will occasionally find themselves fighting for their lives in the arena because they accidentally offended one faction or another. Absolutely. I love it. That makes me very, very happy. So we definitely, okay, so we've got all these fabulous factions, which we can delve into. There is, Patani. Ooh, I do like that. The Patani. Ooh. Let's see. So you've got, so we now know sort of what the politics are, what's going on there. And what else do we need to look at?
I don't know did we really go into the aquaculture very much?
Ooh, we did not.
And we know that they're taking a lot of their land to grow sugar for rum and for export and everything, but we don't know what they're eating, because you can't just live off sugar. I mean, I've tried; it doesn't work.
Let's see. So in the kelp forest, the submerged forest is made up of 3 biomes itself. The kelp grows to more than 100 feet and at various elevations within the forest, you will find different God, I don't want to use biomes again. There's various elevations in the forest, and you will find different, thank you, ecologies that only exist at that depth. On the surface you will find the areas of the forest where the majority of kelp is actually harvested. The people working the forest keep the kelp from overgrowing and thereby blocking the sunlight from getting all the way down to the depths. The second layer, approximately 30 feet to 60 feet in depth, is where the majority of the fishing is done. Many types of fish use the forest for both concealment and for ambush. You can find some larger predators here, but most are scared away by the almost constant activities. And finally, the bottom layer of the forest is a hotbed of activity for shellfish and urchins. Urchin ink is a staple of the economy and their meat is a staple of the dinner table, as these animals are known to destroy entire sections of kelp forests. They are harvested quickly and aggressively by those who can remain submerged for extended periods of time. There we go. All right, so we've now got 3 ecologies there in the actual kelp forest. Sorry I sort of whipped through that, but I actually did create I helped on a study where they were looking at what the most sustainable forms of farming are, and essentially it would be if you had like full kelp forest that could be farmed on 3 different levels um, without destroying it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh
That.
my gosh. All
I
right.
love it.
So let me see what is going. All right. So, does Briny Bridge have an enemy or opposing nation? So they do. So Briny Bridge split off from Merchantry many, many hundreds of years ago. And Merchantry became the primary target of the pirates because the halflings were being treated like second-class citizens there. We created that bit of lore because I literally forgot to include halflings in my world. And so I was like, how do I create an island for them? So here we go. So yes, so because I forgot to include them, they then had to suffer a couple hundred years of oppression and leave and develop their own society. So I will absolutely take the blame for that. That was my fault, and I apologize for that. But they now their ships are some of the fastest and the best on the planet. So now they definitely raid everywhere. All right, let's see. Who is responsible for the order? So really, it's sort of like Dapple is the person that if you're going to talk to somebody, Dapple Jury Sauce, the Queen of the Pirates, if you want to talk to the manager and then the manager and then the manager, eventually you're going to get to Dapple. But she, depending on the mood that she is in, there might be all kinds of craziness going on. So from day to day, like the same offense might get you a vastly different punishment. Like she might, one of the things that she did to our characters was she actually shrank them all down. She had the fairies shrink them way, way, way down. And then she threw them in the bag of holding that she has. And they had to like run a race against a bunch of pirates to get out of the bag of holding. So yeah, that was super fun. I enjoyed that. And is there like a sheriff with one holding cell or something like that? I feel like no. I feel like that is totally like just sort of against the sort of the idea of the pirate ethos. You know, that there's not like they would not want to hold someone or do trials or things like that. Like they've got better shit to do. That either you fight it out, or you get thrown in the arena, or you just get your head chopped off there and then, or something. Like that's sort of what's going on over here. You get to do what you want, but if somebody doesn't like what you want, then you're getting into a fight about it. That's the sort of looseness of the factions, the feeling that you might step on someone's toes regardless of what you're doing, and that might land you in very bad situations. That makes me very, very excited. There is, all right, let me see. There was something that was, there we go. All right, now I'm scrolling down again. Are there coral reefs? There are coral reefs. I think, for instance, like there is a large reef where Aquafina is, that like it grows much faster because of her magical presence. I think that is important. Thank you for reminding me of that. So we've got the submerged forest. We've got this Aquafina's aquaculture. This area below the docks of the buttress is home and hoard to an ancient sea serpent. Her presence forces the oysters that she so loves. Her presence forces the oysters she so loves to grow at incredible speed alongside the huge and gorgeous coral reefs that are spreading out from her lair across around the island. I think that's delightful. Yes. All right. So yes, we do. So to answer that, we do have coral reefs. Yay! Joel's here. Hi, Joel. Oh my God. All right. So now glass slippers under the sea. Now you got it in my head. You dirty, rotten, just a monster. It's gonna be stuck in my head all day now. Let me see. We have got. Oh, if you do something that gets people angry, it could actually land you in hot water because the pirate druid heats up the sea under the bank. Oh my God. Oh my God. Joel. Coral reefs. Joel. Your goddamn dad jokes. Why?
Oh, Joel.
Why do you insist on hurting me, Joel?
You always hurt the ones you love.
I do love the idea of there being like there like a special like amphitheater that is like carved out, is like grown out of the coral, that gives you like, if you attempt to sing any of these songs on land, they're just gonna sound crazy and awful. But down here, like if you can breathe underwater and you can sing down here,
where it's wetter and better.
Beautiful songs. You what?
Where it's wetter and better.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate the hot crustacean band as well. Oh my God. Baba Yaga, do not encourage him. You're both monsters. I hope you cry yourselves to sleep tonight. That's what I hope, damn it. There is, no, we can absolutely create like a coral reef. I feel like Aquafina would want a space where she can go and sing. Sing to the world about things. Absolutely. Baba Yaga, you don't have to worry about travel with me because I am a contrabasso, so there's
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think it sounds delicious.
Yeah, no, contrabasso. I by the way, I am delicious, by the way. Okay. No, a contrabasso is the lowest vocal part, so it goes, you start up at like coloratura or lyric soprano, and then you go like soprano 1, soprano 2, mezzo soprano, alto 1, alto 2, contralto, and then the boy parts you've got countertenor, tenor 1, tenor 2, a barytenor, baritone 1, baritone 2, bari bass, bass 1, bass 2, and then contrabasso, which is the people that can sing like the bottom of the piano. It's in like, you know, there's like a lot of a cappella groups out now that are sort of making names. That have been for like 10 years, but you know, there's a lot more now than when I was growing up. That whoever is like their bass, because they always have that bass and that is the contrabasso, with the ability to actually just sing out crazy low notes.
Okay.
There is, let's see, is there an artifact associated with the island culture? There was one that was associated with Leviathan, who gets summoned once a year during Shark Week to create the Sharknado that we all know and love. And other than that, I don't think I do have one. But I think I could absolutely create one that would be utterly delightful. Oh shit! Speaking of that, that is something that I actually really do need to do. We've got like 15 minutes left. Do you think we can pound out a um, a a planar touchstone in 15 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna head over there. Gonna make that happen. It's gonna be fabulous. Give me just a moment. All right. We're at Wonders of the World. I'm gonna go over here to planar touchstones. And all right. Um, so the did I already have that open? I didn't need to open it again because I've got too many tabs. Is the thing. I just have too many tabs. All right. So now I need the words of creation. All right. So we're not sure who has got that. So we know who's going to get it, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be. Alter reality by speaking correct words. All right, so let me see where this would go in here. It would be after Joaquin's manacle. So let's jump down there. Ooh, is it? Nope, it would be after the well gestalt. I think this is going to be the last one on the list. All right, words of creation. All right, let's see. Normal text is going to be, I think, heading 3. There we go. Yep. And all right, so this wondrous collection, this wondrous touchstone is the music of the spheres incarnate. The music, the song that the music creates describes both the future and the past from its inception to its doom of the entire multiverse. If you listen closely, you can hear every story ever told, though a mortal mind would be destroyed by the vastness of
Oh my goodness.
power.
We've got an incoming raid.
Oh no, who's raiding us? Well, we're talking about pirates,
Mendari.
pirates. Mendari, hi. How are you on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that your world building was absolutely delightful. We have been, let's go over the things for our new raiders, the things that we have discovered about a place called Briny Bridge. It is an island that is full of halfling pirates who escaped the mainland and started piracy because they needed to, because they didn't have everything they needed on the island. Let's look at the geography. The capital city is called the Buttress. It is where the leaders of the pirates all live. It also has under its docks Aquafina's aquaculture. It is a beautiful coral reef covered in oysters that is also the home and the hoard of Aquafina, the ancient sea serpent. Um, in addition, places that the pirates need to stash their wealth are in fact offshore banks. And we have created a new race to guard these banks called the Sea Flings, who are half ancient sea serpent and half halfling, um, who can exist both underwater and over water. So that's super delightful. I love that. There is let's see, there's absolutely the wee ones are there, buttress. That's right, it's the buttress. There's we have got all kinds of different places. We've got Moonglass Lake, which is in the center of the island. There's some place called the Submerged Forest, which is actually another aquacultural space. It's a giant, expansive kelp forest where they get most of their food. So they eat a lot of sushi, they eat a lot of kelp, like kelp salads, things like that, because the interior of the island, the vast majority of the arable land is used for the production of a special kind of sugar plant from the Feywild that tastes like mint, because everybody loves their mojitos. And those plantations and factories are ruled over by hags with like armies of fairies and sprites and brownies taking care of the actual plants in the area. And the other sections are all hemp production, because hemp is used to make all of the sails and the ropes for the various pirate ships. So there's like rum distilleries, hemp plantations. We decided that there's a couple of fun things. So the mouse folk run most of the burlesque and the other sort of like the nightclubs, the burlesque clubs, things like that. You've got all of the mouse folk running those. I love the fact that we have decided that the brothels on this island, we are modeling them after the Old West of the US. The brothels are actually filled with women who are both sex workers, but also accountants. They are the ones that actually take care of all the money on the island. And it's because they know everyone. They're absolutely delightful. And in the Old West, for those of you who don't know, all of the cities, essentially, those little towns that you see, were built by the madams of the brothels, because they were the ones that had the money and actually wanted to build fabulous things like schools and grocery stores and churches and things like that, things that were not necessarily taverns. Absolutely. Yeah, it's delightful. There is Glass Flippers. Thank you so much for stopping by and having all those fabulous suggestions. You're awesome. There's all kinds. Oh, and there is the large arena and casino that is now named the Casino Arena. Everybody needs to go visit the Casino Arena at least at some point in their life, where it's not just gladiatorial fighting, but it's where they hold a lot of the major celebrations that include things like the champion match, which is where all of the halflings, all the boats, all the pirate boats, ships, I should call them, they have like little, in their cargo holds, they have like little fighting areas set up to like blow off steam on a long journey. And the best fighters from each ship come and show up at the arena once a year, and they duke it out to crown whoever is the best. But they also do things like have a huge art exhibition, which shows off all of the stolen artwork that you've gotten over the last year. And it will be judged, and we'll see who's got the best eye for fabulous art, what's fake, what's not. They've got a whole community of like appraisers and antiquities dealers to deal with the fact that there's so many stolen goods coming through, who are absolutely delightful. You did hear right. The Mouse Folk Burlesque is absolutely delightful. There is, now on this world, the Mouse Folk, it's a race that we have on our world. They are actually in charge of all of the, they are the mafia. of the world. Um, and thank you for the follow. That
Thank
is super
you.
fabulous. Um, they are the Mousebook Mafia, and they are in charge of everything because they have all the information. They've put themselves in positions in all the libraries. They are like assistants to all the leaders. They just know every single thing that's going on everywhere, and they have a magical way of communicating with each other so that the Mousebook mothers always know what the deal is wherever they happen to be. So yes, we've done all of those things today, and now we are actually creating a cleaner touchstone called the Words of Creation right now, which I need to get done before Wednesday. So let's do it now, shall we? And so the touchstones are fabulous artifacts that give you incredible powers, but also come with some sort of detriment. Let's see. So this is the Words of Creation. Let's see. When someone attunes, so what do we think? What do we think the powers should be? I want it to be sort of similar to like the Truth Speaker class from 3.5, where you can actually cast spells by, if you learn the actual true speech of the universe, you can literally just tell the universe what to do. The issue is that it's very difficult, and if you get even like the tiniest intonation wrong, the spell could blow up in your face. You could be telling the universe to do a vastly different thing, like, instead of create a fireball over it, create a fireball 40 feet from me, you could be saying, drop a house on my parents. Like it's just, the words of creation are very complex. Is really the thing. I love it. There's medieval times with volunteers and more blood. Absolutely. It's just a little more less volunteers because you might, you get thrown in for like scuffing someone's shoes if they don't want you to scuff them. So yes, what do we think that the powers should be of this thing? I'm thinking that it should be like the ability to like create small effects that affect you, but sort of only temporarily, and then growing with that and having to do like maybe a performance check for, like to make certain things happen. You have to do an oratory performance check. What are we thinking about that?
I think that's fitting. How would we decide what the limits are?
I think. Ooh, what we could do is, based on your performance check, you can alter something about yourself or take something away from someone else on the battlefield, right? Or in general, like we could start out with like basic things like modes of movement, stuff like that, and eventually turn into like full-on actions. So you, like, if you use it really, really well, you can sort of make amazing things happen. But in general, it'll be like you see something happen and you begin to understand how, like, what the words are to make that happen. You can say, like, I'm going to, like, that dragon no longer has dragon breaths. Okay. Things like that. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, there's this weird little thing. If you're looking just to make it systems easy, there's this weird little thing in the wish spell, which allows you to replicate the effects of other spells. And you could almost do that. Just say it's as if you cast wish, but you can use it only to replicate a spell of like first level or second level.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't be like major effects. But then because as you attune these, it becomes more powerful. The big things you're talking about are like wish level stuff.
Yeah. There's let me see. I think that would be, how do we put that in there? Let's see. So when you attunement, once someone has attuned to the words, they immediately gain the ability to decipher. That's not how you spell that. Decipher the universe around them. The world literally speaks to them. There is you hear the song in every creature and everything. Let's see. I want to say initially, I really like the truth speaker thing where they do like checks that increase in difficulty. So there's no technical limit. Like if you can get infinite amounts of ranks in something, then you could eventually just continue to do it forever. But it becomes more and more difficult, and then we can create the detriment of when you misspeak.
Mm-hmm.
Then it creates some sort of like crazy wild magic surge. What do we think of that as a way to sort of keep it handled?
I think that works.
Oh, this reminds me of Marla Mason, where it's not flight, it's insulting gravity, and she just lets go of you. And to make it stop, you have to apologize in the old tongue. Do it too much, and she might not accept said apology. That's amazing. I love it. Yes, I think that's absolutely fantastic. There's all right, cool. So, and I feel like the only check that actually makes sense would be a performance check, because you're literally speaking these words. Let's see. Once you have seen any effect ability, flora or fauna, you may attempt to alter it in some fundamental way. Starting when you gain access to this touchstone, you may make a performance oratory check to replicate the effect of a first or second level spell on something you can sense. In order to create the effect, you must, the DC, let's keep it simple, stupid. The DC of this effect is 10 plus the level of the spell plus 2 for each use of this ability within a day. So, trying to cast magic missile at first level at a creature would, at a creature for the third time that day, would be a DC of 10, 11, plus 6, DC of 17 on your performance check. A 17. Let's lay that out for them. 10 plus 1 plus 6 equals 17. There we go. All right, on your performance check. It does not matter what effect you are attempting. The DC is always cumulative. The plus 2 to the DC is always cumulative. There we go. All right. So that establishes the rules for this, right? That establishes that you have to do some things. There is, let's see, doesn't need to be seen. Could a character that is blind or has temporary blinded ability hear or touch fauna, flora, etc.? Yeah, that's why I said it, as long as you can sense it. You know, so it's any sense that you have, you can check it out, you can make it happen, because the universe, the language of the universe isn't just verbal. It can be somatic. It can be, it could be, you know, telling a bumblebee to fly could be a dance instead of a word, you know, things like that. The universe speaks in a million different ways. So I want to leave that up to the player to just play with that and do fabulous things. And I feel like that's a solid first level, like basic thing. Do we want to add anything else to that?
I'll say no.
Yeah, I think we can jump to the soul bonding portion of it. So we've got, all right, so now something is soulbound. So now I want to expand this. So I think this should be, so if we want to get, because I want this to be very powerful, but I want them to be able to get to 9th level spells eventually. Let me see, if it's by 3, that gives them up to 6. If it's by 2, yeah, so it should be half your spell level. So once a character is soul bound to this touchstone, their ability to manipulate the world expands. They may now attempt to replicate any spell effect. You may only replicate spells that are 1/2 of your character level rounded down. So a 15th level character could replicate any spell of 7th level or lower. Um, there we go. And now, here, we need to, if you fail your check, the effect is negated and replaced with a roll on the wild magic table. Let me see. There's now, so the touchstone expands the ability up to 15th level. So it's an incredibly versatile touchstone, allowing you to do pretty much anything that you want as long as you can make that performance check, right? Now I want the detriment to be much worse though. I want it to be, if you fail, it's still the wild magic table, but if you fail by 5 or more, not only is the spell negated, but you gain a detriment for the next round. Roll a d6 to see what that detriment is. Here I'm going to throw a little table in. So 1 should be something sort of minor, let's say blinded. Blinded. 2, deafened. 3, gonna do exhausted. 4, knocked prone. 5, paralyzed. And 6, stunned. There we go. And if you fail by 10 or more, you are immediately knocked unconscious and must start rolling death saves as your character has distorted their own life force in some horrific way by mangling the words by mangling the words of creation. How do we feel about that? Is that too much? Is that sort of where it should be?
I think it's where it should be for something that powerful. Like just the chance of actually dying doing it.
Yeah, because this would be really, really powerful. And so it would be, let's say, even if you're on like the first spell or the first attempt of the day, if you were doing a 9th level spell, would still be a DC 21 performance check. Let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to, because I don't want people to have that much power. Because if you like set up a bard with this, like they could have a performance plus of like, you know, at higher levels of like plus 17, 18, 20. Like a rogue could have expertise in it. It could be ridiculously crazy. So I'm going to say, I'm going to alter this so that it is 10 plus 2 times the spell level. 2 times the spell, the level of the spell. So that would be, to try and cast the first level creature third time that day would be 10 plus 2 plus 6, which puts you at 18 instead. There we go. And that way it would be, if it's your first time trying to do that in a day, that would be what? 10, 20, it would be a DC 30. So you can attempt it, but you don't want to attempt it multiple times. So that'll give it the same sort of range as a high-level spellcaster. And you really have to focus on it if you want to do that. So I think that works. And all right, cool. All right, fabulous. I love it. I am going to send this off to my player who is playing this. This is the words of creation. I'm going to, and the thing is, I feel like it's very simple, and yet very fun. And you can do a lot with it, which I love that. I feel like it's a real storytelling piece. I know that it is definitely past time for you, Connor.
It is.
There is. So why don't you tell everyone about your fabulous upcoming delightfulness that is your Spelljammer?
I was very fortunate to lead a team of very talented creatives putting together this huge scope Spelljammer product to help make your Spelljammer campaign better. Not just Spelljammer, just about any D&D campaign can benefit from this product. It's called the Spelljammer's Cookbook. It started as a dad joke and it's finishing as a dad joke with 26 subclasses to make a great character, in addition to some lineages, feats, and backgrounds. And the dad joke portion of it, 8 recipes for delicious preserves, jams, jellies, chutneys. They were designed by the Gluttonous Geek. They are custom to this product, and will allow you to entertain your players not just with game, but with words and food and just a delightful time. Each jam not only comes with the preparation instructions for the jam, but also ways to use it with your meal. So it's going to be flippin' awesome. The team is incredible. This very talented team of very diverse creatives includes numerous Emmy winners, television stars, like people that are out there using RPGs for good. It's going to be something to check out. It's going to be on the DM's Guild on the 16th. If you yourself wish to pick up this product, the easiest way to make sure that you get it is to click on that link. That link will take you to a form where it's just like, give us your email address. And when the product drops, we will email you a link to go and get it for yourself. So that way you don't have to worry about forgetting or anything like that. We'll make sure that you get that information. It's going to be really awesome. This team, we appreciate your support. They definitely deserve support. So, consider picking it up.
It is delightful. Go hit that link. Go say hi.
Say hi in the form of an email. We promise we will
right.
not use it for anything else besides to email you a link and say, it's available now, here it is.
Yes, which is huge. And thank you for that. And in addition, tomorrow we've got another big announcement. Lando, who for those of you who love the channel, Lando is our fabulous tech guy and plays in both of our campaigns. He is starting his own channel tomorrow because he loves video games and especially Genshin Impact. So he is starting his own Genshin channel tomorrow. So definitely check out the link that has just popped up in chat. Go follow so you can see when he goes live tomorrow. And tomorrow, have fun playing video games with him. And then you can see me over at the Quest Junkies UK channel as we continue our chronicles, our Rodania chronicles, which are delightful. I play a fabulous guy, a professor named Bob, who is a graviturgist who somehow got to this world from a world that is very similar to ours, where he was an astrophysicist. And so is trying to figure out how to use magic in a way that makes sense to a scientific brain. Um, and gets into lots of hijinks along the way. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much, Mandari, for the raid. Thank you, everybody, for following. It's been so delightful. And I would love to send you off to someone super fabulous. So why don't we head off to DMDM Studios right this moment and say hi to them. So stick around for the raid, you get fabulous ally points. And again, if you're a fan of the channel, you know that you can use the ally points to change how things are happening in the actual plays that we do during the week. So I cannot wait to see you all again soon. We'll be back on Tuesday and Wednesday and on Friday. And next week, we are starting a brand new stream called Monster Mayhem, where we will be actually designing monster classes so that you can play a monster alongside your friends who are playing paladins and fighters and wizards. And you won't level up too fast and you won't be too slow. And that way you can just hang out with them, getting fun new powers each level too. So see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Mwah!